Hello, everybody. Welcome back to A Good Podcast. My name is Nat.
My name's Stephanie.
And welcome to the show. Today we have a very special guest and a very special mug. We have two very special guests that I'm going to invite this moment.
I thought you were going to say we have a very special sponsor, and I was like...
We have a sponsor. It's us. Okay. Here.
Are they seeing us right now? They're seeing all the things you're doing on your phone.
No, they're seeing us. Okay.
Oh.
We've invited the guests. They're from SS True Crime Podcast. I love murder. I just ate a pizza and I'm ready to talk about murder. Okay? What are your thoughts on murder?
I mean, it's... I don't know.
Makes for interesting television.
I'm always like, tell me more, but then I get really nervous.
Tell me more, tell me more. What song is that from?
Is that from Grease?
Yes. Oh. I haven't watched Grease in a decade.
Like a whole decade? Have you really thought, did you think about that?
I don't like Grease.
You don't? Tell me why.
I don't really like Grease.
Why?
It's annoying and weird.
I mean, I understand.
I don't really like him. Hello.
Hello. But why don't you like? What's weird about it?
I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't get it.
Okay.
Oh no, this is technical difficulties. Somebody's unable to join. We're working on it.
What else
This is
can we
true
talk about?
crime. Stephanie, what's going on?
I don't know. Are we gonna have to talk about true crimes, me and you? All I want to talk about for the whole hour.
I want to talk about it with the experts.
Yay!
Wait, is my volume up?
Oh, I didn't speak. Can you hear me?
Oh! Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
You guys don't know how nervous I get. Like, I have been sick all day.
Well, I am. I don't know about her. I'm nervous. Don't worry about it. We're just gonna talk. We're just gonna hang out. We're gonna talk about true crime because I'm a fan.
I'm also interested.
She's interested. I am a fan. Look at the other dude on here.
Is he coming? I talked to him like at 11.
I sent it again.
I feel bad. I feel sometimes like I'm his mom. I'm like, are you ready? Yeah, I'm ready. Okay, we're just checking it. You're still good tomorrow? And he's like, yes. Literally yesterday, I was like, are we still good for tomorrow? He's like, what are we talking about? I was like, we're talking to a good podcast. He's like, no, what are we talking to them about? And I was like, oh, I'm an idiot, but I'm just like double checking.
Our relationship is the same. And I was like, are we good? Are we good? Can we do this? Says that he's unable to do. Should I?
Oh, he's under the Seinfeld. Is there a way to add that?
He's under the what now?
It's the other page. I guess he wasn't able to log in. It's the Seinfeld and Sociopath.
I don't know.
I know, I'm totally blowing your mind.
Oh, no. I have found it somehow. I don't know how. Okay.
I don't know. I guess he wasn't able to log in under the other one.
I added that one.
Oh, okay.
Here.
Yay! Hello! Sorry.
Uh-oh.
Is this the first time you've shown your face? Is that what I've heard?
This is a big reveal. Yeah, this is it.
Whoa. Okay. So we're just going to get right into it, okay? I got a bunch of questions, but they're easy. Don't be nervous. We're just going to talk about true crime. I love true crime. She's very interested, but I seek it out, baby. I love Forensic Files. Y'all watch that?
Yes.
Oh, it puts me to bed at night.
Me too. Me too.
Wee little baby. I love that. We're just going to talk about stuff like that. So, I think Rachel said that you guys live in different areas. Where are you guys from?
I'm in snowy Canada.
Our second person on here. We had another guest last episode, I think, with a guest was from Canada.
Well, there you go. That's why I put the toque on. I figured it's Canadian like.
You're the Canadian a little bit. I can hear it now. Rachel, where are you from?
I'm from South Carolina, so we don't see snow ever.
We're both. We're all.
They're gonna ask you where we're from, but I was like,
Where are you from? We're Kentucky, so we're kind of close. Not
Yes.
really.
I've been there.
Well, we've been there.
I've been there.
I've been to Kentucky. It counts. We cross paths.
We've been doing it. How did you guys meet up? Because I know obviously you live in different countries. So how did you meet up and start doing a podcast together?
You want me to go ahead?
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead.
All right. Well, I'll give you the Cole's Notes version. I got a dog earlier last year, and I know how odd this plays into it, but I got a dog. My buddy would always tell me, hey, you got to listen to this podcast. You got to, whatever. So I never did because I didn't have a dog. But as soon as I got a dog, I started taking him for walks, and then I got addicted to podcasts. And, I think like most people, they get introduced to the Dateline podcast, which is very addictive. I'm actually listening to today's episode, almost done it. But so I started listening to true crime podcasts, and I figured, you know what, I think I can do this. And I was thinking like, okay, how do I make my podcast unique? And that's why I logged in as the Seinfeld and Sociopath. So I was like, well, those are my two favorite things, murder and Seinfeld.
I love
why not combine them?
I love it.
So that's exactly what happened. Was I have a really good buddy who's a Seinfeld fan, and basically we just go through crimes, all murders, and just has a twist of Seinfeld to it. It's just littered with Seinfeld references. So, but now to get to SS True Crime, the whole reason SS True Crime came about, that's Canadian. Apparently I sound funny when I say about. I don't know. But I was actually trying to interview somebody who is in prison for eating his wife. And so I was reaching out to him at the mental hospital where he is. And I was speaking with a social worker and explaining, I'm like, oh, I'm doing a podcast. I'd like to, interview him. That was the other unique thing I wanted to do, was reach out directly to people involved in the crimes. And the social worker was like, well, you know what? I'll go talk to him. I'll let you know what's the name of the podcast. And I didn't want to say Seinfeld and Sociopaths. So I quickly blurted out SS True Crime. And so that's why it's SS, Seinfeld, Sociopaths, True Crime. And that's...
boat.
I know. And then I'm like, I'll throw the boat theme in there. So I started doing my own research on my first few podcasts, and I recorded an episode, and I was like, this is terrible. It's boring. I need a co-host. So on my Instagram page at the time, where Rachel runs now, much better than I do, I threw it out there saying, hey, I'm looking for a co-host. And I was expecting to get no responses, and I probably wound up with I don't know, 5 or 6 saying that they were up for it. And Rachel turned out to be my second choice.
Always second place. I'm always second place.
When I reached out with her, she was so enthusiastic, and she was like, "I just want to be involved in any way I can.
I did.
Like, let me just, I'll do anything." And
I offered to type for him. I was like, "Do you want me to type? I'll type up what you guys are talking about. Just let me sort your papers."
Yeah, and so I was like, "Okay, this is incredible," and she was way more enthusiastic than the person that I originally selected. So I quickly gave them the boot, and Rachel was in, and she's run with it ever since.
Good.
We just knew each other for a decade.
Haven't always known each other.
But that seems a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
Different countries.
We've gone to school together since.
School.
Yeah, we've just always known each other.
Literally over 10 years.
Always.
So, and we would just, everyone would be like, oh, you're funny, you should do a podcast. And we're like, what would we talk about? And we still don't know what we're talking about, but we just do it.
Oh, it's like
I will say,
talk about nothing.
I was listening to your Shawn Mendes' Fruity the other day, and I was mowing the front lawn. I think my neighbors think I'm crazy because I was cackling, and I realized I was talking to myself. I was like, Shawn Mendes is fruity. And they're like, what is she doing? I'm like, my bad. It's cute.
He is.
It's just, we all know. Poor Camilla. So, how did you guys get like interested in true crime? Was it something? Because I know with me, it was like one of the things that my grandma loved to watch, and so I just watched it with her all the time. But how did you guys get into that stuff?
You first, Rachel.
I don't know that I can pick a time. I have always been the weird kid. Like I remember in school, you go and pick out a book out of the library and write a book report, and people are picking like Peanuts or a graphic novel. I'm in like 5th grade picking Lizzie Borden because it was awesome to me. So it's just anything I could get my hand on. Dateline, 20. I think I was the only kid watching 2020 in my class. Like for like maybe my like 13th birthday, I'm getting Encyclopedia of Serial Killers from my parents. So it was like they either thought I was going to be like really smart or a killer. So I'm not sure which one. And luckily it went the other way. So it's just something. Sorry.
Sorry, but that's okay.
I don't know. It's just something I've been obsessed with. Like to the point I scare myself to where you can watch and listen to stuff and it doesn't faze you. And I'm like, oh, this isn't good. Like, you need to tone it back and, like, humanize yourself again a little bit.
How about you?
Well, for me, I guess it all began way back in the day when there weren't that many TV channels up in Canada. So just last year. No. But Unsolved Mysteries, like the original one with Robert Stack, used to scare the pants off me. I would not be able to sleep at night. It was just so freaky. The music, his voice, it was the whole package. It was so disturbing, and I loved it, but I hated it at the same time. And, so just always that sort of planted the seeds. And then throughout, I wouldn't say I had this extreme passion, but up until recently when I got my dog. And then that's when I really got into it. And I would take my dog for walks all the time because that's all I wanted to do was listen to more podcasts. And, I quickly blew through all the Dateline ones. I was disappointed, but there's so many good ones out there. And the nice thing with true crime podcasts is there's always new episodes being created or, future episodes. Every day there's new murders. So we're never going to run out of episodes.
That's a good point.
That's kind of sad.
That's a good point. It's sad.
Sure, I know.
Just want to be honest.
What are your guys' like favorite crime shows or podcasts? I know you listen to them all the time. What are some of your favorites?
Oh gosh, that's hard. Oh, now I'm blanking. Probably I really like some of the popular ones. You've got your Audio Chuck ones, Crime Junkie, Ashley Flowers does a lot of different shows. I listen to her. Gosh, like I said, I'm blanking. Really anything you can get your hands on. Dateline's great. I was with Unsolved Mysteries, just started a podcast. I don't know if you saw it. There's now
No, I haven't seen that. Really?
I don't know if it's on all streaming. I know it's on Spotify. So that's been like my new go-to. It's not Robert Stack.
Yeah.
I think that's why I love Men in Trench Coats. It's because of him. But gosh, I can't say anything, really anything you can get your hands on. I will listen to it.
Yeah, for me, I found I'm picky, but 48 Hours is another one that's more of like a professionally done one, but it doesn't compete with Dateline. But still, it's okay.
True Crime Guys, check them out. They're hilarious. Love them.
What else? Minds of Madness. I don't know. I like his voice. SS True Crime is great. Just saying. Seinfeld. New episode of Seinfeld and Sociopaths today. It dropped today, just now. So yeah, definitely worth a listen. It's on Jeffrey Dahmer. So it's a gooder.
I wish I could get stuff like this, but I don't know. I did the same thing when my grandma watched a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But it had the opposite effect on me. So now I'm like, I love horror movies, like the scarier, the gorier. That never bothers me. But true crime stuff scares the crap out of me.
I'm the complete opposite.
I love horror
I think
movies.
I am too.
Love them, and they never bother me. Like I'm never up at night worrying about Freddy or Jason, but because
Ted Bundy.
but that's probably because he did. That
Well,
happens.
yeah.
This stuff happens every day, and I think about that. I'm like,
I know. I mean, me and my grandma, literally, as like a 5-year-old, I'm watching Forensic Files all day long. They run that shit, or not, HLN. They run that all day long, and I would just sit and watch it for hours. We watched Forensic Files. We watched Unsolved Mysteries. Oh, there's this one with this old guy, and he retired, but then he came out of retirement.
my Dateline?
No, not Dateline. It was another one, but literally anything that we could watch. Snapped.
No,
Snapped.
That was good.
I always want to watch it for when the guy goes, and then she snapped. I do like Snapped.
Anytime the theme would come on for Snapped, and I was like a child, I was like, oh my god, because it's like murder, sex, money, and I'm like, whoa. But
I
Snapped
used
is
to
really
watch
good.
Snapped a lot. I don't even know what channel it came on, but I used to watch it a lot by myself.
Oxygen? It was on it was on Oxygen for a while.
Same network with like
Oxygen.
that bad girl show and everybody was screaming.
Deadly Women. There's Deadly Women.
There's like,
Maybe it's just meant to
I mean, true. There's a series on HLN that's like, I don't know what the title is, but it's like killer, but then it's like subcategories like killer co-workers, killer spouses, killer kids.
I don't.
That was scary.
Kids are scary.
Well, they're not babies killing. They're like whatever. Okay, but I love Forensic Files will always be the OG.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that man's voice. That could.
It's sexy. It is sexy.
We're talking about the old man, right? Not the new one, right?
Yeah. Always.
Yeah. All right.
Always.
Glad we're on
Came out
the same page.
Okay. What is your guys' favorite case to talk about? Do you have one? I have one.
Like recent or like overall?
Anything to like, if somebody asks you like, oh, you're into true crime, what do you what do you talk about? What do you like introduce people into true crime with? Or like just the most interesting one?
I think for me, it's the Mark Twitchell story, the Mark Twitchell case.
I don't know this. Don't give me the details.
All right, so he's Canadian, and what made his case unique was he was like an aspiring film director, and he rented out a garage with his movie set, and he actually was legitimately doing movies, not well, but he was doing them, and he ended up luring a date to the garage, a male. He was pretending he was a female through like Plenty of Fish, the dating site, and so he ended up luring him into the garage and attacking him, dismembering him, and disposing of him. The crazy thing though is he wrote it's like a 50-page dissertation called SK Confessions, Serial Killer Confessions, and it basically goes through his planning, his actual murder, the disposal, everything in disgusting detail. You can actually, read the whole 50-pager online. It's pretty crazy, and I'd spoken with the lead investigator for that episode, and he said, it was like a career case. Like, it's one for the books. I think even Dateline, was it Dateline or 40 Hours? They actually did one on him, and
I think 48.
Yeah, I think you're right, and it's just the fact that there's literally 50 pages of details of his actual, murder that took place. It's wild. You don't often get that inside look.
Dang.
First 3 episodes of SS True Crime just about him, FYI.
Just saying.
Just saying. First 3 episodes of SS True Crime. You want to go back and listen?
Rachel, do you have like a favorite case that you like to talk about, or the one that you're most
Which is funny, is because I actually texted Kel this today. I was like, you shouldn't have a favorite killer, but Jeffrey Dahmer is my favorite killer. For me, it's like I'm a psych major too. So for me, it's beyond the crime. It's nature versus nurture. Why did you do it? Did you do it out of impulse? Did you do it out of anger? Did you do it out of did they create you somehow? And I think for him, it was such a case of both, but in my mind, a lot of nurture went into why he did what he did. If you go through his entire case, to me, like, he went from the mannequin to the body, which kind of symbolized the mannequin, which symbolized the repressed sexuality, which symbolized the family, like, issues, like, could go on and on. But I would have to say Jeffrey Dahmer. And, you know, I'm sorry, Mom. I promise I'm not a weirdo.
It's all good.
Seen Making a Murderer on Netflix.
I've never seen that.
You
I know it's crazy.
That's my favorite. It was this guy, I think he was in Minnesota, I think, who got convicted of a crime and then went to prison for a lot of years. Then got out due to new evidence. He got out of prison and he went back into prison for another murder. And basically, the show that is on Netflix follows about how, he was wrongfully convicted the first time. He's wrongly convicted this time as well. And it was just a bunch of cover-up and a bunch of drama. Oh, it's good.
Yeah, the reason I didn't bother watching it was, like, I heard about it and obviously it was huge. But I guess I had heard sort of the other side of the, just saying things were ignored in the documentary. It was really sort of formed to give you that impression of innocence. But so, like, as soon as I kind of heard that, maybe, I don't know, maybe he's not as innocent as it was presented in the documentary, then I was like, I don't know if I want to commit to it. But and I'm sure I've seen shows on his particular case. I forget his name, but on his cases, and like, listen to podcasts about it. And I don't know, like, yeah, the first one definitely sounds like the first murder. I would say, yeah, he was wrongly convicted just based on the rudimentary knowledge I have. But the second one, yeah, that one's a little bit tougher, in my opinion, to look the other way. So that's just my opinion, though. And again, I don't know it in too much depth, but just from, what I know, I thought that second one, yeah, it sounds like he may have done it, but yeah.
I think he's still in prison for the second one, but I could be wrong. I know they were trying to get him out in, I think, the second season of the show.
I don't have a favorite crime.
You don't have.
What's wrong with you?
I do. I like legends and like folklore, stuff like that. I look up all the time, like late at night, like most haunted places in Kentucky, or like,
I did that last night.
or like the biggest legends in each county, and like monsters. And I love stuff like that.
You like murder?
No,
Only
when it's done by.
What's your favorite monster then? Who's your favorite?
I don't know. Okay, supposedly there's this teeny tiny town called Keno that's very close to us, and supposedly there's a Bigfoot that lives there.
I think it's Junior Bigfoot
Love it.
or something.
It's like some kind of Bigfoot, and I think it's real, and we're gonna go look for it.
Yeah.
My dad has been taking me Bigfoot hunting since I was a kid, so I love it. That's awesome.
Out in South Carolina in the woods.
We moved when I was little, and so we lived in West Virginia for a while, and there was a lot of stories about him. So we would go Bigfoot hunting, and I came back down here, but yeah, I still travel with him to the Bigfoot conferences and whatnot.
That's so cool.
Looking for him.
We should go to the Bigfoot conference and talk about the Keno.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if, I don't know, things that, like, when you're little and people tell you that certain things aren't real and that you shouldn't believe in them. I don't know. The older I get, the more I really want to believe in them. The more I want to, like, anything. Any kind of, like, the Loch Ness Monster, like, Vampire's Fairy, that I want to believe.
You want to believe?
I want to believe.
Okay, let's see. Okay, so when we were getting together, the episode, the collaboration between us and you, I was looking into your podcast, and I did not know at first that you get in contact with these people.
Yeah.
That is insane.
That's really scary.
That is like insane in a good way. That is like amazing. How does that work? How do you do that? You just call and be like, I want to talk to him.
Well, Rachel can elaborate further, but for the first few episodes, I called the mental institution to the psychiatric place to talk to the guy who ate his wife. Again, I never actually got an interview with him though, but I did do an episode in Seinfeld and Sociopaths about him. And then, I was just like, for the Mark Twitchell one, I was going through news articles and just the lead investigator, he was still active on the force, so I, got his contact information through the Edmonton Police Service website and reached out to him, and he got back to me. There was a serial killer in Ontario back in the 70s. He killed 7 people, and I literally just called. Same thing, like he was in like a maximum security psych ward or whatever. I just called, and I got transferred to his wing, and I'm just like, oh hey, I even forget his name, but I'm just like, hey, is so and so there? They're like, yeah, just a second. Then they don't get him. Like it's as if I'm calling my buddy's house, and then he comes and answers the phone, and so I was talking to him a little bit, and he said, let me think about it, and I ended up. He spoke with his lawyer and was asking, like, what should I do? And they ended up saying, and I understand this, like his response was like, you know what? He's like, I was really sick back then, and I don't want to re-victimize the families or whatever the case may be. So I completely understood that one. And then the Candace Newmaker case in Colorado, I reached out to the prosecutor there. So that was an interesting insight. And then I guess what I do, like my strategy is I go to writeaprisoner.com. It's a website where you can literally write prisoners. And I'll just go through them and sort through them and, learn about ones, and I'll write the ones where I want to check in to see whether or not they'd be interested in being on the show. And we've had a few responses from that. And then Rachel normally takes it from there because, I don't know, me being in Canada, I don't know if phones, like, maybe their phone doesn't work to call it, like, whatever. I just figure it's easier for Rachel to communicate once and
pass the buck. It's easier.
and
Wink,
if things
wink.
don't go well and they hunt her down, they'll go after her, not me.
Thank you.
My Lord.
And then we had Wild Bill reach out to you, right, Rachel?
Yes. Our last few episodes with Bill Holbert, he actually reached out to us. And so I didn't think he was real at first. I was like, I don't believe you. Ain't no way. Like, whatever. Like, I even sent it to Kel, and I'm like, this is such bogus. And he was like, oh my gosh, do you know how that is? And I'm like, this is real? Like, this is real? I've been rude.
I just listened to a podcast about him like a month or two earlier. And so I was familiar with it. I was blown away. I'm like, no, seriously, this is a crazy story. And yeah, I
was like, I've been so rude. Let me go back and apologize. Thank you for reaching out.
Yeah, they could totally do a movie on him. It's incredible.
Yeah, like he said, I do the same thing, Write a Prisoner. There's a lady we're talking to now who, I don't know if it's her or her family. She actually had her prisoner number up on an Instagram, and so I just got on JPay, which is their email, and I just put her number in and was like, hey, how you doing? You want to chat? What, sorry?
What did she do? Why is she in prison?
Yeah. She murdered her father-in-law. And so, yeah, and then she live streamed it on Instagram.
Oh, that's the kicker.
So we've been chatting back and forth trying to get her on there. So
I also just got a rejection response from a guy, and I understand. He's like, I'm coming up for probation or parole in 2 years, so he's like, I don't want to say anything. And he's like, of course, there's two sides to the story. And I'm thinking to myself, well, we're only going to be able to hear one side because the other side's dead. But yeah,
I shouldn't have laughed. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so
so yeah, I understand why some people want to keep their mouth shut. If they have some hearings coming up or some appeals.
So you were talking about Wild Bill. Tell me who this is.
Yeah,
because I don't know who that is.
I saw there's like a bunch of episodes with him, and I'm interested. But what exactly?
He's a hitman. Go ahead, Rachel. You can handle this one.
He was a hitman in Panama. He actually was from the States and went over there and, became a hitman, kind of a shady cartel business. He was trafficking people for the cartel through Panama. And also on the side, like I said, if they took hits out, he would be the ones to do it. And got caught because he was disposing of them on his property. And so...
You have to listen to it. It's incredible. It's incredible. He even played poker with Mel Gibson in his story that he's telling us. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
Mel Gibson, a crook.
Yeah. Well, deplorables are hanging out with each other, so.
Yeah, and this was our first episode where we were actually able to get him recorded on the phone. So it is literally him telling the entire story.
I listened to some of it. It's just him on the phone. I know. What is it like talking to these people? I mean, is it a little spooky? What is it like talking to people?
I get nervous. I mean, I'm nervous now. I get nervous before we Zoom call. So, I'm a nervous person. I'm always like, hey, how's it going? As I'm writing with my hand, doing this. It's a little scary. To me, it's a little scary because, sorry, I have a cat. Let me out. Because they are, whether or not they're going to do it again, it's still you're talking to someone who did some really heinous things, and now they know you, and they know your name, and, sometimes they find out where you are, and so that's what, I don't care to tell people I live in South Carolina, but I have an address somewhere else. I have a phone number for, just to talk to them, so you can't get, taking all the precautions. So, as Kel sticks them on me, hopefully they don't find me. They'll be in another town.
I actually, thinking back again, I keep talking about Mark Twitchell, but at 3 a.m, I got a text message from somebody who knew him or something, because I got a text message saying, why are you talking about Mark all the time? Blah, blah. And it was freaky, and it was my personal number, and they found it, and I never responded. And I actually kind of reached out, because I think on Facebook, it must have been the same person on Facebook at the time, because they were kind of, I don't know, defending Mark, or they were pretty angrily typing about him there. So I kind of buried the hatchet on there. That was the goal, and I never did hear from them again. But yeah, that was a little bit, it took me back a little bit when my personal phone was, they found it. So more precautions are in place now, I guess.
That is spooky. That was another question I was going to ask is have you guys ever talking to someone that is a convicted killer, and they respond to a question or something that you say aggressively, or
they're threatening you, or hateful?
Have you ever had any encounters like that?
Not yet.
Open, they just kind of want to get it all out in the air.
Yeah, Wild Bill was incredible. He's his personality's huge. He's entertaining. Again, at the end of it, you feel like you'd want to go have a beer with him. But
sorry, your face is killing me. I think we're scaring her so bad.
But no, at least in my experience so far, there's been nothing uncomfortable in that sense. And again, I think the John Spirko case that Rachel speaks with him, maybe even still you're in touch. I don't know, but
yeah, I'm actually still in touch with him and the lady we spoke to in regards to him, his childhood best friend. Like, it's been about a month or so now, but literally the last time we just talked on the phone. How's her life? How's my life? Talked about politics, talked about the weather, like kind of developed a relationship, which is, I guess, kind of weird. But I always put it out there. I'm like, listen, we're going to ask you questions. Obviously, we're talking to you because you did something
Right.
or not did something. In their case, if they believe they didn't, but it's like, you have every right to tell me no. So I always try to put that out there. If I say something to you that you're like, absolutely not, I'm not going to answer that, I back off. Because I'm not here to anger you and prod the bear and get some, ratings or views or whatever. I want to tell your story.
Yeah, and I think like when I present it, like when I write a letter to like cold turkey or whatever, cold calling prisoners, like by email, and I'm just like, you know what, we want to learn about your upbringing, your outlook on the future, as well as, sort of we want to know the whole package. We're not calling just for like gory details of, what happened, and we wanted to find out, okay, like, was there something in the childhood that, is there a theme here? And so I think they're more receptive to that when we're saying like, no, we don't want to just talk about that. We want to talk about everything. And yeah, I think that helps with a more positive response, in my opinion.
Yeah. I got you. So, I think we're almost wrapped up. I've got all my questions answered. I was so excited for this episode. And then when I found out that y'all talk to people, I cannot get all my together to do that. You know what I mean?
I couldn't do that because I'd freak out. I would like pee my pants.
My ultimate goal, I would love, like, my ultimate goal, it'll never be achieved, but I would love to speak with somebody who, like, say, for example, like a lot of killers, like, they won't give up where the body is, or they won't, like, I would love to interview somebody and convince them to be like, you know what, like, come on, like, why not? Give it up.
You'd be so famous, I think.
Yeah, so that's what I'm working on.
So, got one last question, and is who would be like the ultimate dream to have on your show? Who is like the first, several people, whatever you want to do, the dream person to have on the show?
OJ?
OJ. We have lots of questions.
We all know he did it.
Yeah.
I'm just watching you right now, Natalie.
What?
You're so like.
Well, I love crime. OJ. Who else?
I think for me, like, oh gosh, I'm going to say her name wrong. Darlie Routier?
What did
Do you know she said, like, her 2 children were murdered, and she's calling 911, and it's like, oh my gosh, somebody came in, they attacked my kids, they attacked me. But she actually got convicted because they went back and did a voice analysis, and the crime scene seemed staged, and they said you can actually hear her, the voice analysis, but she's moving around the house staging the crime. And then her wounds were not as deep, her children were murdered. I would love to talk to her. I think it's because it's a case since I was a kid, I grew up listening to, hearing about. I would love to speak to her and really, obviously she still says she's innocent, have her really tell her side of the story.
I think I've heard of this one. Did she like cut her arm or her hand like over the sink or something?
Yes, she like cut her neck and her arm, if I'm not mistaken, over the kitchen sink, and then cut the screen to look like somebody broke in, but it was cut from the inside.
Always the big mistake. People always cut out the screen. Wrong side, they're always throwing in the glass, and the glass is on the outside of the house instead of the inside. Listen, that is numero uno bad. I hate it when they do that. I'm always watching for like, oh well, the cops noticed that the glass was on the outside.
Hey, that's one thing Forensic Filed has taught us. Like how if you get mad enough to be on Snapped, we at least learn from Forensic Files how to not get caught. I mean, really,
we'd all be pretty good killers.
I think so.
I talk about this with my grandma all the time. Me and my
And whatever you do, leave your cell phone at home, people. Don't
Yes!
take your cell phone with you.
You gotta be prepared. You don't know what you gotta
I'll
do.
come see you in prison.
You don't know.
I'd help you.
I wouldn't go to prison.
You would.
I would escape.
I feel like you'd call me and I'd have to help you bury the body.
Yeah.
I mean, I always tell people I have no life. I'll be a great alibi. You were with me. I never do anything. So, yeah, shit, they were with me. Nobody saw me because they don't do nothing.
You just blew it, though. Now everybody knows.
That's true. That's true. My bad.
I know. They probably know nothing about this case, but I know what case that I'm obsessed with now.
Tell me about a case.
Do you know what it is?
Yes. Go ahead.
I'm thinking about Diana.
Oh, that's not what I was gonna say.
That's the only true crime that I think about. I think about
Lorena
it.
Bobbitt.
And also Lorena Bobbitt.
Lorena Bobbitt. I would love to talk to Lorena Bobbitt. I am such a Lorena Bobbitt fan. It should not be as much of a fan as I am.
I remember like watching a thing about her when I was like 5 or something, and I was like, oh my god, I can't believe she did that. She's so cool.
She's so cool.
Big fan.
Love Lorena Bobbitt. But do you guys think that the Queen killed Princess Diana? Because I think the Queen killed Princess Diana.
I think the Queen killed Princess Diana. I do too.
Yes.
I think she did it or Charles did it and she covered it up.
I think I agree. I agree.
I think
Something sinister happened.
her crime, that is the only thing that I think.
Yes.
I'm not thinking about Lorena Bobbitt. I just think she's cool. I'm a big fan.
Lorena Bobbitt is my hero.
But I think about Princess Day and whether or not
We talk about it almost every episode.
I love her. And I'm telling you, I want to meet the Queen so bad just to be like, did you
Now
kill her?
listen.
I know she'd probably have me murdered, but I'd be like, I know you killed
We
her.
could all go confront her. We have the true crime experts, and we have us who talk about Princess Diana almost every
I love
day.
her. I can't wait for the new Princess Diana movie.
I do. I think I definitely think they killed her. She knew too much.
She knew too much. She knew it was coming. Or Diana.
Mhm.
Anyway, I had to get that off my chest.
Well, I think that about wraps up our episode here. I want to thank y'all so much for coming. I was so excited, and I loved this episode, and I love true crime. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Call me later. If anything comes up in my area, I'll let y'all know. I'll take it.
Right
I'll
on.
take
Sounds great.
it. Thank
All
you,
right.
guys.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
We're still here.
Okay. SS True Crime, baby.
That was so fun.
I love true crime. I love true
I
crime.
think I showed my true colors when I asked about Princess Diana.
I think you did. After 45 minutes of talking about people eating people and shit, you're like, well, Princess Diana is dead.
Yes, and she was murdered.
And she was murdered, and that
By
is
the Queen.
And
That's
expert.
that's as far as I go with true crime. I just love
I mean,
her. And Lorraine Bobbitt.
Lorena Bobbitt.
I think about her all the time. I think she's great. I wonder what her husband's doing now. Did you know that her husband did porn? After all that,
Tell them what she did, because they probably just
you don't know. I never did that like you're right about me.
You don't know.
about all that. Lorena Bobbitt. Okay, this back was like in the 80s or early 90s.
I don't know.
Sometime in there. Lorena Bobbitt, her husband comes home, he's drunk, he like forces her to have sex, or like tries to force himself on her, and he falls asleep, and then she goes in the kitchen and gets a butcher knife, cuts off his dick, and then goes and drives and chucks it in a field. And the cops had to come and find it.
My fucking hero. And they
then
attached it
They set it back on, and
No.
the guy did porn.
Does he have balls?
I don't know. She may have cut those off. I don't know. This is the extent of my knowledge.
Does he have testicles?
But I remember being like 10 and watching, like, it was like a special about on VH1 of all things for me to be watching as a little kid. But I thought it was the funniest thing ever. Go Lorena Bobbitt.
Go. We should make Lorena Bobbitt t-shirts.
I'm freaking aware.
I would too.
Ooh.
Okay, well, thank you, SS True Crime. I really did think it was about a boat. I really did.
I love that you like Seinfeld. I love Seinfeld.
I love that that's the mixture.
Oh, that's
That
good.
sounds like right up your alley.
I love.
That's like you and me. It's like Seinfeld and
That's right.
psychopaths. Okay, well, thanks for listening. Plug your stuff. Oh, I forgot to tell them to plug it. Go
They
listen.
plugged it throughout the show.
Listen to SS True Crime. Go follow them on SS True Crime. All their stuff will be in the description and in the name. I promise.
Go follow them. Follow me on Instagram at Pete_Curiosity to see me paint stuff.
To see her paint stuff. Follow us on Instagram at a good podcast 69 and on TikTok at a good podcast 69. Go buy some merch. We have cups, we have shirts, we have stickers, shorts, posters, hats.
Almost went like.
And listen, before we go, we need to talk about our YouTube channel because I'm so sorry I hit your foot.
I'm so disappointed.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. It didn't hurt.
Okay.
My feet are so ugly right now.
No, they're not. Our YouTube channel. We are busting out that high quality fucking content. We just posted a video yesterday.
And it was good.
And it was fucking good. And I'm proud of it.
It was funny and scary.
And it's so well done.
It was. And she
it's
made
well
it.
made.
She did a good job.
Thank you.
Oh, God.
Thank you. I have to poop too.
I'm going downstairs. Wait, is there toilet paper downstairs?
No.
Oh, God.
Just hang on. We're almost done. We visited a haunted cemetery. It's a new series, honey, called Spooky Tales.
It's gonna be. There's gonna be other things. What?
Can I tell you something?
Absolutely.
I don't know how I came up with that name. I literally just said it out loud.
And you were like,
and I was like, okay,
it was good.
Spooky Tales.
And it was a good episode.
Chapter 1, Soul's Chapel, bitch, and it's fucking scary.
We caught ghosts on camera.
We did. No, we really did.
A picture of Brienne.
We really did. And
three
it's
of them.
there.
It's 3 things in the sky, same shape.
Same shape.
Super weird.
It was intense and scary as hell.
It was.
And you are to watch it. Click on the link in our bio on our Instagram, or go to YouTube and search up Nat and Steph and subscribe, please. And watch the video, like the video, comment, everything. We don't have any subscribers hardly. This is a cry for help. Please subscribe. I have subscribed on all my YouTube accounts, and that's all I can do. Please. Bye. I mean, I guess. Are we done?
I think so.
Bye, I guess. Oh, I gotta poop too. Love you.
Love you.
Bye. See
Bye.
you next
Love you.
time.
Bye.